Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Onakomaiya, certified coach, speaker, and bilingual facilitator in English and French. I'm also the author of the book, The Growing Life, 10 Principles for Creating a Life of Intentional Growth and Staying the Path. For over 2 decades, I've had the privilege of working with leaders across Africa, Europe, and the United Kingdom, helping them to communicate with impact, to unlock potential, and to build teams and cultures where people can thrive. My passion is simple: helping you to live a life of intentional growth and staying the path. Because I believe that growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. It happens daily by taking intentional actions and making conscious choices. My mentor, John C. Maxwell, says, growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to be better. And so today I am excited to speak about personal growth, values-based leadership on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ. And I'm inviting you to join us on this conversation because I know that we are going to add value to you and we're going to learn and grow together. I look forward to seeing you on the podcast. I am your growth partner.
What did you want to be when you were a kid?
An astronaut.
Wow.
Don't ask me.
Okay, that's good. Good thing.
An astronaut, then a doctor, and then
a lawyer.
I wanted to be so many things.
Did you want to be a lawyer also?
No, not a lawyer, but a
Okay.
military doctor.
Okay.
I actually thought of going to the military at some point,
Actually,
really.
it's interesting that you say military doctor because I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid because I was sick a lot, and actually, a military doctor saved my life, and
Oh,
that's what I really wanted to be. Now, I went to school here in the U.S. Now, I was pre-med. I did biology and chemistry. Then I almost got a PhD in microbiology, but I ended up in technology. But anyway, so what are three adjectives describing you as a child?
what adjective?
As a child.
Oh, bookworm,
Okay, two more.
nerd,
One more.
four eyes.
Okay. As an adult.
As an adult, hmm, I don't think I think about that.
Quickly,
For
quickly,
me,
quickly, running out of time. As an adult.
I don't know how people describe me. Maybe as a
But
coach.
how do you describe yourself? Okay, coach. What else?
Yeah, a coach,
Hmm.
um, a daughter of Zion,
Okay, one more.
lover of Jesus,
Okay, very
a
good.
mother.
All right.
I think that phrase, I when I heard it the first time from John, I doubted it. But as I grow as a leader and studied leaders and also empowered leaders, developed leaders, I realized that that statement, it's kind of like an absolute.
Hmm.
Leadership is influence, nothing more. And it transcends culture and time. If we look at big greatest leaders in the world today, there's one common trait everywhere. They have
Hmm.
influence. Yeah.
Wow, that is so powerful, and I think it's probably the easiest, simplest definition of leadership I have ever heard. And what it tells to me is, for you to be a leader, you don't have to have a title, right? And
No.
you don't have to have people that you supervise because you can influence your neighbor, you can influence your children, even as
Yeah.
a parent, you can influence someone else, and that's really the essence of leadership. So let's do our moment of gratitude, which is our custom here on the Leadership and Success podcast. So, for just a second, if you would, you may close your eyes if you can, and I want you to think about one thing that you are grateful for today. And I think today I am really grateful for connection, networking. I think I've never met a stranger in my life. Everybody I meet is my friend. At least that's the way I think about it. And it's really amazing what a connection might be able to do for you in the future. Just adding value to people, and then having people add value back into your life. I can say that I would not be where I am today in my life if it wasn't for the people I have met. So I am grateful for connection.
All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to break down the principles of intentional leadership, and we're doing it through the eyes of Coach Kate Onakomaiya. Her whole philosophy is that leadership isn't some finish line you cross, it's a lifelong journey. And right off the bat, she gives us this powerful way of thinking that pretty much frames everything we're about to talk about. It's this fundamental idea that leadership is all about endurance and just showing up consistently, not about these quick, frantic bursts of energy. So, what does that actually look like day to day? Well, it means you value progress way more than you value perfection. Coach Kate has this great analogy where she compares life's necessary pauses to hydration breaks in a race. Those moments are absolutely essential for you to reflect, recover, and then get right back on the path. The real goal is just to keep moving forward, no matter what your pace is. So, how did Coach Kate even get to this philosophy? Her journey is pretty fascinating because it didn't start with people at all. It actually started with numbers, deep in the world of finance. You can see her path here. Her career kicks off in banking, first in Cameroon, then over to Nigeria with Standard Chartered Bank. But then there's this huge shift when she joins the Maxwell leadership team and then goes on to found her own academy. That was a really deliberate pivot from managing spreadsheets to developing leaders. And you have to understand, this wasn't just a simple career change. It was a total shift in her purpose. She found out her real passion was in unlocking the potential inside of people, that human capital that really drives everything, which numbers can only ever try to represent. This journey led her to this core, super simple definition of leadership that she learned from her mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell. What's so amazing about this is its simplicity. It just strips away all the titles, all the authority, and it boils leadership down to its one single essential ingredient: influence. But here's the thing. Gaining that kind of influence and really growing as a leader, well, that doesn't just happen by accident. It takes a conscious, deliberate effort. This piece of advice from John Maxwell basically became her mantra. It's the big idea behind her best-selling book, The Growing Life. And the critical point here is that any kind of meaningful progress, whether it's in your career or just your personal life, it demands that you are intentional. You have to choose to make the climb. Okay, so how do you actually climb that hill? It's not with these giant, heroic leaps. It's with small, consistent steps. Coach Kate breaks it down into these really simple daily disciplines. We're talking just 10 minutes of reading, a quick moment of gratitude, and a brief reflection. These tiny actions, they compound over time into real, lasting transformation. Now, this whole idea of intentional growth isn't just about learning new skills. It's about being grounded in the right principles. And for Coach Kate, that all starts with your values and a deep commitment to service. I love this because it completely reframes what leadership is all about. Instead of seeing it as this position of power, she sees it as a call to serve other people, to really listen to them, to empower them, and to lift them up. And this little story just illustrates that principle perfectly. When she was facing all the uncertainty of moving to a totally new country, her mentor's advice wasn't about networking or career strategy. It was this simple, powerful instruction. That one act of service grounded her. It helped her build a community, and it really shaped her resilience. And this all leads to a critical gut check question for every single leader. It's this: are your projects just a means to an end, or are they actual opportunities to develop the people on your team? Your answer to that question reveals everything about your true motivation as a leader. Of course, this leadership journey isn't always a smooth ride. It's going to involve setbacks, it's going to require guidance, and ultimately, it's fueled by a genuine care for other people. Coach Kate has a really interesting view of failure. She says she fails almost every single day, but she makes this key distinction. Some mistakes, they're learning opportunities. But if you find yourself making the same mistake over and over again, that's a signal. That means your current way of looking at things just isn't working. And the solution is so clear and actionable. The antidote isn't to just try harder. It's to get help. A coach or a mentor can give you that fresh perspective you desperately need to break the cycle and finally start moving forward again. You know, no one succeeds alone. And Coach Kate is always the first one to express gratitude for her own circle of mentors. This just reinforces a huge idea. Leadership is a relay race, not a solo run. We learn from the people ahead of us, and then, in turn, we help lift up those who come after us. When you ask her to boil leadership down to a single word, this is her answer: love. Now, in a world that's obsessed with metrics and performance, that might sound a little soft, but it's not. It means having the courage to serve, the patience to mentor, and the compassion to correct someone without crushing them. It's all about valuing people and then adding value to them. So as we start to wrap this up, let's distill all of this amazing wisdom into 5 clear, memorable takeaways for your own leadership marathon. So what are the 5 core lessons that really come out of Coach Kate's philosophy? Here they are. Number 1, grow intentionally. That means you are in the driver's seat of your own development. 2, influence with integrity. Make sure your influence is backed by solid character. 3, value people. Remember that missions only succeed when people feel seen and heard. 4, serve first. You rise to serve, not to rule. And 5, lead with love. Kindness isn't a weakness, it's a strategic strength. And ultimately, this is what it all comes down to, right? Her desired legacy isn't about her own achievements or awards. It's about the impact she has on other people. It's just a powerful reminder that true leadership is measured by the growth of those you lead. And that brings us to you. Your leadership marathon is uniquely yours. So the final question is for you to think about. After everything we've talked about, what is the one small intentional step you're going to take today to keep moving forward on your path?
Welcome, everyone. Let's dive into some powerful insights on intentional leadership. Coach Kate Onakomaiya really painted a vivid picture when she said life is a marathon, not a sprint, emphasizing endurance over speed. It's such a compelling reminder to be patient and persistent in our leadership journeys.
Absolutely. And that idea of taking a pause but not stopping, it's like those hydration breaks you need in a long race. It's a vivid reminder that even in leadership, you need moments for reflection and recovery.
Right, exactly. And what's inspiring is that her whole leadership philosophy is centered around progress over perfection. It's about those small, intentional steps that add up over time. It's almost
Yeah.
poetic in its simplicity.
I like how she ties in her personal journey too. Starting in finance and then shifting to focusing on human flourishing, she basically flipped the script from managing ledgers to managing relationships.
Yes, her career transformation, moving from balancing numbers to balancing human capital, really reinforces that leadership is less about authority and more about influence. As she said, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. It reminds us to always value the people behind the roles.
That's so true. And I like how she explains the concept that progress in life and leadership isn't about sudden, giant leaps, but consistent daily habits. It's the 10 minutes of reading, the moment of gratitude. Those small things really shape who we become.
Exactly. It's like each small action compounds into meaningful growth. And for leaders under pressure, whether on a ship or in a tech startup, those fundamentals really matter. It's about creating
Right.
a steady pace rather than burning out quickly.
I do want to challenge something here, though. While the idea of daily discipline is brilliant, sometimes people feel overwhelmed by the idea of constant self improvement. Do you think there might be a risk of burnout if leaders take this too rigidly?
That's a great point. And I'd say Coach Kate addresses this by emphasizing intentional growth. It's not about adding unnecessary complexity, but about consistent, manageable steps. It's more about cultivating a habit of reflection rather than overloading yourself.
Right. It seems she really advocates for values based leadership. She talks about how leadership is essentially service. I love that perspective. Leading with the goal of uplifting others rather than just focusing on personal achievements.
Absolutely. One of the most striking parts is when she says, people matter. That simple statement drives home the idea that leadership is about empowering individuals rather than manipulating outcomes.
Yeah.
It's a call to value human worth over mere metrics.
And speaking of metrics, her reflections on failure really hit home. I mean, the notion of failing almost every day, yet learning from it. That's something that many leaders need to hear. It demystifies failure rather than letting it cripple you.
Right. She distinguishes between mistakes that teach and mistakes that repeat. I love how she suggests that if you keep failing at the same thing, it's a signal you need a guide, someone to help see things
Exactly.
differently. It's a refreshing take on vulnerability in leadership.
And isn't that so important? Vulnerability and humility create a solid foundation for genuine mentorship. I noticed she gave a shout out to her mentors like John Maxwell and others who shaped her growth. That circle of growth really inspires collaborative learning.
Totally. Mentorship is treated as a two-way street here, almost like a relay race. Each mentor sharpens the next, and ultimately, that collective insight builds a stronger leadership foundation. It's like iron sharpening iron.
Speaking of sharpening, she also highlights the importance of values, things like integrity and service. For instance, her advice about finding a church and serving before stepping into leadership roles is, I think, a compelling blueprint for building community at its core.
Yeah, it's really interesting how she links leadership with service. By starting with service, like listening, empowering, and lifting others, you create a space where influence is earned, not just handed out because of a title.
Right?
That's a modern take on what true leadership should be.
It's also fantastic how she celebrates women in leadership, especially through her experience with the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women program. Empowerment, networking, and striving for a higher version of oneself. That resonates deeply with progressive organizational cultures.
Yes, absolutely. It speaks volumes about the intersection of personal growth and professional excellence. By empowering women to reach beyond conventional titles into personal transformation, she shows that innovation truly thrives in diverse and equitable environments. It's a win for both
Yeah.
individuals and organizations.
Another layer of her philosophy, leading with love, is so intriguing. Love here isn't seen as a sign of weakness, but as a robust leadership strategy. It's all about adding value to people, paying kindness forward, and turning authority into trust.
Exactly, and that idea is reiterated with a sense of urgency. When she distills leadership into one word, love, it becomes a reminder that compassion, patience, and forgiveness are vital for long term influence. Leadership, as described here, is as much about emotional intelligence as it is about strategic thinking.
Absolutely. And then there's her final reflection. If she had one day to live, she'd want to be remembered for valuing people and helping them become the best version of themselves. That statement is both humbling and aspirational.
Yes, it really encapsulates the essence of intentional leadership. It's about being present, intentional, and most importantly, serving others in every step of the
Right.
journey. It's a timeless message that applies across all fields, whether you're in the military, tech, or corporate leadership.
I think another key takeaway is the idea of growth happens daily. It doesn't require a radical overhaul overnight. Just subtle, consistent adjustments make a big difference, don't you think?
Absolutely. Like adding a simple routine, maybe 10 minutes of reflection or reading daily, can compound into real transformation over time. It underscores the importance of being disciplined yet flexible in our leadership approach.
One analogy that comes to mind is that of a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble day by day until a masterpiece emerges. It's not about rapid changes, but about patience and persistence.
Exactly, and it's like every small adjustment is a chisel stroke that refines your leadership style. While some might argue that the pace seems too slow for today's fast moving world, I think this sustainable approach is exactly what distinguishes lasting impact from short term achievements. It's
Yeah.
about staying the course.
That's a great point. However, I do wonder if in some high pressure environments, such as cybersecurity or military operations, leaders might feel pressured to rush. How do you think this philosophy translates into those fast paced arenas?
Well, that's where the balance comes in. Even in high stakes environments, the fundamentals of growth, intentionality, serving others, and values based decision making remain critical. It comes
Right.
down to integrating these practices even in the midst of pressure, so you never lose sight of what truly matters.
That balance between intensity and thoughtful reflection seems to be a common thread here. It's a reminder that leadership isn't just about achieving results quickly, but about sustaining those results over time through integrity and care.
Definitely. And the notion of failure as a teacher really rounds it out. Embracing failure, reflecting on it, and using it as a guide rather than a setback is a lesson in resilience.
Yeah.
It suggests that every stumble is an opportunity to recalibrate and grow stronger.
I love that. And it ties back into mentorship, where having someone to walk with you can make all the difference. It really promotes a culture where collaboration trumps isolation.
Absolutely. Building a support network, nurturing relationships, and always seeking to learn from both successes and failures is what sets exceptional leaders apart. It's all about that continuous relay of knowledge and care.
And in the end, the call to action is clear. What small habit can you adopt this week to fuel your growth? How can you ensure that, regardless of where you are in your leadership journey, you keep moving forward with intention and love?
Right, it's a powerful challenge. Whether you're in a boardroom, on a ship, or in a tech lab, the essence of true leadership remains the same: intentional, values driven, and always people focused. And that's a
Exactly.
marathon we can all commit to, step by intentional step.
This conversation really highlights the idea that growth is a deliberate and continuous process. It's not about chasing quick wins, but about building a legacy based on service, resilience, and, well, love.
Yes, and I'd say it's a fitting reminder that leadership at its core is a sacred trust. It's about leaving a legacy where others feel empowered to succeed long after you're gone.
Yeah,
That's the kind of impact that truly matters.
I couldn't agree more. So, our listeners, as you reflect on your own journey, think about which small, daily step you can take to both refine your leadership and uplift those around you. It all adds up over time.
Absolutely. Keep your intentions clear. Embrace each failing moment as a lesson, and most importantly, lead with love. Remember, whether it's on the battlefield of business or in everyday challenges, progress is made one deliberate step at a time. And pause if you need to, but never stop.
That's a wrap on these inspiring insights. Stay intentional, be of service, and let your leadership journey be defined by growth, resilience, and above all, love.
Wow, that is so powerful. So you mentioned your book, and I want everybody to get a copy, The Growing Life. And in your book, no, it has become a beacon for intentional growth. What does growth mean to you, and how can leaders avoid stagnation in their careers or teams?
Oh, for me, growth is simply reaching, like I mentioned, reaching out for more. I believe that we have an inherent desire inside of us
Hmm.
to be more, to have more, and to do more. When we respond to that desire that is inside of us and we start taking intentional actions, to just live a more fulfilled life and to be the best version of ourselves, that is growth. That is growth. That's what it
So
means to me.
let me ask you this: so for this audience, no, all kinds of people listen to the show, but those I focus on the most are the aspiring leaders in the military and in high tech, right? So,
Yeah.
and many of them they really lead under a lot of pressure. How can they create daily habits that drive both personal growth and professional excellence?
You know, Coach Busy, when we think of growth, right, we think it's something that it's really big steps, big things that I have to do. It's probably, oh, I need to pick a book and read, or if I have to take a course, or I need to attend an event, or those big things. But
Hmm.
growth happens daily, and it happens with small actions, small steps, and it happens with conscious choices that we get to make. When we started this podcast, you told us, you asked, what are you grateful for today?
Hmm.
An attitude of gratitude, that's one area. That's where growth comes from. That when we start becoming grateful for small things, we are sparking something inside of us, and we're sparking our potential. That look, we're just seeing a light. So growth happens every day by taking small intentional actions. Yes, you need.
That was Coach Kate, right? Growth happens every day. What a wonderful, wonderful lesson. So let us know what are your main three takeaways from the podcast today. And I'd like you to listen to the entire podcast and go back season 4, episode 95. That's going to be my hour-long conversation with Coach Kate. And Coach Kate and myself, we are both mentees of great, the one and only Dr. John C. Maxwell. We call him Papa John. But I hope this has added value to you. And also let me know in the comment what is one action you're going to take this week, this upcoming week, that is going to make a difference in your life and in your growth. And I want to remind you, I will be back here tomorrow morning. I will be here twice. First, I believe it's going to be at 9 a.m. We are going to be talking with my brother in arms, the one and only Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Lynham, U.S. Air Force. He recently retired. He's a founder, investor, and author. And this call sign is military CEO. Mine, of course, is BZ. So that's going to be tomorrow, and I really look forward to that. And then in the afternoon, 12:30 p.m. California time tomorrow, I am going to sit down with my mentor, Dr. Tim Elmore. We're going to be talking about his brand new book, The Future Begins with Z. Z as in Gen Z, not as in Zynga. But it's going to be a Leadership 2.0, the Gen Z playbook. I call him the Gen Z Whisperer. I know one of the most challenging assignments I've ever had was being the commanding officer for the Global Network Operation Security Center in Suffolk, Virginia. And about a third of my command was Gen Zs. And I was having some trouble motivating them and leading them because they really are completely different than Gen Xs. So anyway, my both of my daughter, Naomi and Zoe, they are Gen Zs and they were my mentors. They really taught me how to reach out and influence people from their generation. So if you are dealing with Gen Z, no, they literally are our future because these Gen Zs one day will be, president, vice president, senator, congressman, doctors, lawyers, and they're gonna be leading industries. So we need to learn how to speak to them, how to motivate them, and how to inspire them. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be speaking to my brother from another mother, Lieutenant Colonel Alex Ramos, also U.S. Air Force retired. And I believe his call sign is Fabio. Again, mine is Busy. He's a founder, speaker, coach, and he's going to be talking to us about leading without fear. You do not want to miss it. And then on Thursday this week, I'm going to be talking with Coach D.V.S. Smith, an investor, entrepreneur, and executive. We're going to be talking about building generational wealth. So you do not want to miss it. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And until tomorrow, have a wonderful weekend. Have a blessed Sunday. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.